Migration has always been an issue in the US, especially in the last few years. Migrants are a large share of the US population. They are about 15% of the population in this country. A lot of the rhetoric of politicians towards migrants are usually negative. They blame migrants for violence, they blame migrants for crime, they blame migrants for taking over the jobs of Americans. But when you actually look at the evidence, of many economies that have been working on these topics for decades, there's very little data that is consistent with all of this rhetoric. Migrants are good for the economy because they bring skills that are different from the ones that are locally in every community, and that actually could even help American workers to be more productive. Migrants are also good in connecting between countries, and that facilitates, in many cases, trade and investment that travels across borders. As opposed to many of the rhetoric, migrants are not linked to crime more than any other native or Americans. Also, when it comes to different cultures, when it comes to diversity, those are aspects that also benefit economic growth. So all in all, part of the success that this country has had over the past century has been thanks to the migrants that have really come here and joined Americans in making the American dream. Migrants tend to be much more entrepreneurial than natives. They create a lot of the businesses that are highly successful, and these businesses are the ones that are creating a lot of jobs every year, more than 1 million jobs per year. So if any politician out there want to make a case to make this country strong, to make this country a very important economic force, migration is part of the solution, is not the problem. Right now, the US has a migration system which is demand-based for the most part. That means that one of the most used visas for migrants is the H-1B visa, which in order to get one of those visas, a migrant needs to have a firm that is asking for that worker to join the firm. There are other countries in the world, such as Canada and Australia, in which they use a point-based system, allowing migrants with skills and particular abilities to join the labor force without the need to having a job lined up before they arrive. And in that sense, I think that the best migration legislation that could be out there is some sort of hybrid between the two. We need to allow firms to bring the best talent and give them the option to offer migrants to join their firms. And at the same time, we should be allowing attracting the best migrants out there to help grow the economy. This has been a discussion for many, many decades, but it seems like the discussion ends at the campaign trail. Once the government kicks in and Congress kicks in, this seems to be put at the back of the priority list. There hasn't been an important migration reform in the past decades. And while I'm hopeful that actually this time we are going to see some changes in that, I am doubtful that that's going to be the case.